blink, and you'll miss it.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
This video and my channel are sponsored by Untap.gg. Looking to track your stats and become a master at a metagame in Magic the Gathering Arena? Untap.gg is here to help you out. I personally like to look at my decks as I play them and see where they perform their worst, where they perform their best, and any odd little things about them like, hey, does this one play really well on the play? Sure does. On the draw, not so much. Again, that's Untapped.gg. Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars! I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm playing Lagrella Blink. Lagrella the Magpie is a card that has a lot of text, but is actually pretty simple when you boil it down to what she actually does. She is a 3-mana 2/3, and when she enters the battlefield, you can choose to exile up to one of your opponent's creatures and up to one of your own creatures. If you have more opponents, cool. You can also hit one of their creatures too, but you can also just choose to exile nothing. Lagrella is a great way to hide your cards away, exile your opponent's threats, and then bring your own things back bigger than before, because when your creatures re-enter the battlefield, they get 2+1/+1 counters off of Lagrella's ability. So this deck is all about entering and re-entering the battlefield. We've got some, I'll call them classic enter the battlefield effects like destroying artifacts and enchantments or ramping. We've got some newer ones like permanent exile off of the Obscura Polymorphous and Skyclave Apparition. We've got card draw. We've got exiling things from your opponent's hand. And, of course, we've got the things that let us blink even more, like Soul Herder, Displacer Kitten, Glorious Protector, Bassa, where is it? Yorion, I'm like digging through here, and the brand new Eternal Wanderer. This deck goes pretty deep, but because we are in blue, it also benefits us a lot to have a couple key counter spells in this deck, especially ones that work very well in Brawl, like Wash Away. It exiles, or it counters commanders. It's really helpful. Same with Tail's End, same thing. Dovin's Veto and Negate, because most of the threats to this deck are not going to be creatures. We can exile creatures. You can't exile most planeswalkers. And of course, the big counter spell that also clones one of our big blinky creatures, Sublime Epiphany. This deck is really fun, and it can get out of hand super fast when you have a ton of triggers to manage. Speaking of which, one of the things this deck is actually designed to do is take infinite turns, using Time Warp and the cards that bring back Time Warp, like Shipwreck Dowser and Saiba Siphoner. Is that a fun thing for your opponent? No. Is it fun for you? Yes. The big reason, by the way, why I'm recording this deck now, despite having had it built for many months now, it was originally a deck submission, actually, that I just kind of iterated on, was because Elesh Norn, Mother of the Machines, was finally released. Phyrexia All Will Be One came out, bringing us the great Blink Doubler, Elesh Norn, Mother of Machine, who doubles our Enter the Battlefield abilities and halves our opponents, by which I mean stops them completely. Elesh Norn is fantastic. You may have seen this deck in my collection called Add Elesh Norn. That's this deck. So we're gonna start blinking over in the queue. A criminal in mono black. It's Gonti, Lord of Luxury. Gonti's all about stealing my cards. I love Gonti. I love Gonti. I have a counterspell that can hit Gonti, so they will not get that powerful card advantage so early. Ooh, these are all going to be coming untapped. That's just fine. Gonti, by the way, also has Death Touch, meaning that it can pretty much trade with anything, as long as that thing doesn't have First Strike or Indestructible. Very nice card to have. See, we've got some removal here. Champion of Lambholt. This can make things unblockable and also just give me a really big creature over time. I've got a way to bring cards back from my graveyard to hand. It's very nice. Temple of Plentals. What do we got? Mulldrifter. Okay, I'll take Mulldrifter. I like little Mully Dully. Cloud Key. You're going to choose creatures. Artifacts. Gonti artifacts? Going to continue to keep up this wash away. There's Gonti. We're going to say no thanks. And counter. Artifacts. This could be some sort of funky Paradox Engine brew. I wonder if that's what's going on. I won't be able to find out too soon. I'm going to use Deputy of Detention to exile this Cloud Key. Play a land. Yeah, their commander is not an artifact. Gonti is an Aetherborn, though. A creature born of energy. Oh! They ate him! Can't believe you do that. They get to surveil. Did they choose to keep something on top? Nope, they threw it to the bottom. I want to hinder my opponent's ability to play their commander next turn. So, Timeless Witness, bring back the Wash Away. You know what I've got. Ah, and they've got a way to make me sacrifice my creature, lose 2 life, and they will draw 2 cards. Sorry, lose 4 life, because it happens twice. Semblance Anvil? Exiling Epic Downfall. So sorceries now cost 2 less. Suppose I could exile one of these 2. Since they put 2 cards into the Semblance Anvil, I'm going to go for that. And they did choose Artifact again on Cloud Key. Here comes Gonti. We counter the Gonti. They are now accelerating mana, by the way, with this Cabal Stronghold. And I'm going to just, instead of countering Gonti, just sit in front of him like a brick. Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines, prevent enter the battlefield abilities. Like Gonti's. If they kill her and don't exile her, we can also bring her back with the Elspeth Conquers Death. Ooh, Phyrexian Scriptures. This is a delayed board wipe. It's going to destroy all non-artifact creatures. Elesh Norn, ma'am, are you an artifact by any chance? We get our Timeless Witness. Timeless Witness is going to bring back one of these 2 cards. I'm going to hit Elspeth Conquers Death. And, oh right, double the enter to battlefield, double the fun, Wash Away. Now, Phyrexian Scriptures would wipe the board, if it were on the board. We're going to exile it again. We've now got a blink and a counterspell available to us, and I feel like we're in a pretty good position. Okay, Blast Zone, up to 2 now. There's no 2-drops for them to destroy. Obnixilus's Cruelty. No, I would really rather you not do that. I would not like this to be exiled, and I know I have nothing in my graveyard. It doesn't matter. I'm still blinking. Would you like to play Gonti? He has Death Touch. Ooh, it looks like they're 1 mana short. Ah! Liliana of the Veil! Do you plus or minus? That's fine. I'm going to sacrifice the Timeless Witness. Because the reason I did want this to resolve is the Exile clause. They've still got 5 mana. That's enough to do some serious killing. No, instead they're fueling that Field of Ruin, destroying one of my non-basics, the Hall of Storm Giants. I will grab some more blue to replace my blue. And look, now I've got Wash Away mana up. Not that it's that relevant. Blast Zone is now up to 3. That's the only 3-drop I see. Decline on the Ephemerate. And I'll swing in and take out Liliana. I feel like I could use some cards. How about 4 cards? I didn't draw a land this turn, but I feel like we'll get one off of the first draw 2, or the second draw 2. Wow, okay, I hit a lot of land. Breeding Pool comes on in, and now we've got a fish. I'm sorry, an elemental. It's a fish. It's a fish! I know I have, like, the extra goofy art of Mulldrifter. This is, like, the actual artist's interpretation of a child's drawing. But the actual art of Mulldrifter is a fish! Aw, they sacrificed my Elspeth Conquers Death. Blast Zone. And now up to 5. That's enough for Elesh Norn. It also would hit Mulldrifter. They're both 5. I'm gonna get some green. I'm going to attack in. We're going to play Vraska. Get double the buff. And now I'm going to get silly. Because I'm going to make the thickest Legrella the world has ever seen. Now listen, you can steal from me this turn, Gonti, if you could come into play, but I don't have any 5-drops anymore. I have a 3-cost creature and a 4-cost creature. Ah, and a portal to Phyrexia! These are both sacrificed. Bringing back my 2 5-drops. They're both going to get bigger, but I think they're both going to be destroyed. What was the perpetual effect? Absolutely not. I like my dummy thick Legrella. Alright, we're going to draw 4 cards. And then these are going to die. You don't want to start blasting? Before I might draw a way to protect it? Alright, and we swing. With the 69 and the 4-4. Nice. By the way, a Nightclub Bouncer can only bounce my opponent's things. But we could bounce the portal to Phyrexia. Make it cost a little more. They would be able to recast it, but we have a counterspell in hand. So, I think I'll just do that. Boing! Did I play a land? There we go. There's a land. We'll get it down in Esper Sentinel. And that seems good enough for me. Discard a card. I'll drop the Hallowed Fountain. Oh, a heartless act. Woe is me. Do you pay the 1? They do pay the 1. Oh, hey, Gonti. Nice to see you. Gonti is going to steal from me. I'm saving the wash away, though, for this portal to Phyrexia. Unless I can get my Elish Norn out, which would blank half of the ability of the portal to Phyrexia. I just want to make sure that we're playing it safe. Here, you can play your Gonti again next turn. I don't mind. Reclamation Sage. You know what? I'm not afraid of the portal anymore. Never have been. Never will be. I also like my dummy thick Legrella idea again. So I'm actually going to bring out dummy thick Legrella. Exile my Nightclub Bouncer. Boing. She's just so thick. She's just so thick. I'm gonna hold up my counterspells. She's just out here flexing. She's out here flexing. Oh, Cyber Siphoner, what would you bring back? Libation, Cruelty, Invoke Despair. Well, you've only got 7 mana. This costs 1 more and then costs 1 less from Cloud Key. I countered a Cyber Siphoner. By the way, Cyber Siphoner, I think, is a card that's kind of a mistake. The fact that there's a lot of cards that can just return instants and sorceries from graveyard to hand gets to be pretty nasty pretty fast. Ooh, Immortal Sun, you say? What Immortal Sun? I've never seen an Immortal Sun before. There certainly wasn't one on this battlefield. You all saw that there was not one on this battlefield, correct? Yeah. The only thing that makes sense here. The only thing that makes sense is this. If I bring this back, I would only be able to counter Gonti. So instead, I'm going to get Skiblinky. And Skiblinky again. I'll blink 1 with you, and 1 with you. Put that back into their hand. We now have 2 bigger creatures, which I'm trying to force their hand, by the way, with this portal to Phyrexia. These get destroyed, but so does the portal. No, I'm not removing. I love this perpetual effect. It's so big. It's so chunky! There is no portal to Phyrexia. It is gone and destroyed. We've got Champion of Lambholt. We've got Lagrella again. Wall of Blossoms. I'm just going to draw a card here. Okay. It wasn't a protective spell, but I don't think I need it. I don't think that they've got a way to take us out as we swing in for lethal. Meeches is playing Chandra, Torch of Defiance. I do not know if this is the same Meeches that hangs out in my channel, but if they are, let me hit them with a hello. Hello, Meeches. Are you ready to play some big red burn? Perhaps an Oops All Chandras deck featuring Chandra and the many other Chandras. There's actually been some great new additions to Big Red recently, with things like Koth, who gets more mountains and burns your opponent. Let's scry. I'm gonna need some lands, but the reason I kept this hand is because I saw I had a negate, and negate stops their commander. At least the first time. We could also bounce their commander. And then we could blink the thing that bounces and, you know, blinky, bouncy bonanzas. Two mana. There are a couple things that, like, will suddenly burst out a bit more mana in red. We could see that, and if I had drawn another thing to cast on turn 3, Lagrella really doesn't want to come into play on an empty board. We could have gone for that. Ooh, a negate! Finally has a target here on Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. This is probably Oops All Chandras, or some other form of Super Friends. Chandra, Acolyte of Flame accelerates the ultimate ability of other red planeswalkers, which is why I'm getting rid of it. Let's go for some green. Now I have more green. I probably should have gone for white so I had double white, but I don't think it's that important. Chandra comes out, and do they kill the Solemn Simulacrum? Nope. Plussing, and instead seeing a mountain and dealing 2 damage to my face. I could just bounce that Chandra. But I'd rather deal damage, swinging in with the Solemn Simulacrum, playing Thassa, and then continuing my Rampapalooza with a little bit of blink. Would I like a basic land? I sure would! Meeches is eyeing my beautiful menagerie of lands and saying, oh, what mana you have. What beautiful mana you have. Thank you. These are my pretty basics. I have many pretty basics. And recently, by the way, Magic the Gathering Arena added a way for you to favorite basic lands. So if you have a favorite basic land, you can now have your things default to it. Ooh, Worm! That's a good card. Wurmcoil Engine, Death Touch, Lifelink. Also, and this is a big one, is Worm. I think it's important that it is Worm. I'm going to Essence Flux here for no purpose other than I like to ramp. But it looks like they might have something they could do in response. Maybe a Shock, maybe some Awe. Some Shock and Awe. I actually thought we were in their end step. This is fine. I can do this whenever I want. Alright, Solemn Simulacrum, we're going to give you a free and open swing by using the Nightclub Bouncer to put the Wurmcoil Engine back into hand. Now, if I want to be a real jerk about things, we can use Thassa to blink the Nightclub Bouncer to put Chandra back into their hand, too. Oh, it's a Lightning Bolt. Oh, I'm actually a little surprised that they didn't go for that. Well, it looks like we're just going to be on the blinks. And I have this Reclamation Sage ready for whenever we need to cause some problems. Now, maybe. Later, definitely. We're almost out of basic lands, but I'm really enjoying how much mana I have. These are also some fancy lands from Unfinity. Ooh, Chandra, Heart of Fire, who deals 2 damage to any target. And sometimes discards cards, but I feel like usually goes for the burn. Ooh, and they have 4 Devotion right now, so I have 4 mana available. from Nykthos and using it for Fable of the Mirror Breaker. It makes a goblin. Assigned for me to do what this deck does best, which is exile things. We're going to start by destroying this, then we're going to use the Lagrella to exile both this goblin, this little goblini, and my own Reclamation Sage to put it in a little goodie bag so we can get it back later. I will use my Paradise Druid to attack. And then I think I'll pay 2 life and do some ramping too. There we go, Risen Reef. Didn't find me land, but found me something very good. Ooh, Sublime Epiphany. I am not going to blink for Lagrella right here, because there isn't anything for me to destroy off this Reclamation Sage. But there will be soon. Perhaps a worm coil engine. Risen Reef dies in a blaze of glory. Chandra, Heart of Fire. Lighten it up. We've got a blink counterspell that also duplicates and bounces and draws cards. And another blink. Eternal Wanderer, I think, is a great addition to a lot of blinky decks because of this plus ability that lets you exile one of your own creatures or artifacts and have it come back into play. It can also be used for your opponent's cards. Oh, Banefire! Reclamation Sage comes out and says, "Hey, what's going on out here? Anything for me to destroy? No, that's cool." By the way, Reclamation Sage will always target something, and then it is, would you like to destroy it? You may. Well, even if I could, I wouldn't be able to. Thassa's indestructible. They've got 5 mana here. That's not enough for Wormcoil Engine unless they also have another land come out. Oh, they're eyeing these creatures. Ooh, this could be Shatter Skull Summit? Destroying a Reclamation Sage? I see them like hovering in an awkward little target dance. Ah, it is Shatter Skull Smashing. Sometimes I feel like I play so much Magic the Gathering that it's a problem. I've got my Lagrella, I've got an Eternal Wanderer. I'm going to kill their commander. Bonk. And I have enough mana here that I can play this Knight of Autumn. I could either gain life or make it bigger. I'm gonna go for making it bigger so I have a way to attack this. I guess I could have gained the life and then done that. I was mostly trying to protect this with Hexproof. And we can still hold up our Sublime Epiphany. I have 6 mana here, which is enough to counter and bounce and prevent myself from being in trouble next turn. Okay, Meeches. It's Chandra. Chandra definitely going to be a target for this counterspell, and we're going to do some other stuff. We're going to bounce the Chandra. I'm going to copy the Paradise Druid, and I'm going to draw a card. I like ramping. Did you guess, by the way, that I kept flickering this little Solemn Simulacrum? I like ramping. I also like the Eternal Wanderer, but I don't think that this is a good time for her. We're going to go in, get some damage dealt, and I think playing Lagrella here is a cool way for me to set up what I like to call the goodie bag, which is, if you destroy my entire board, I still have something present. What do I want to blank? Lagrella, just to make a bigger Paradise Druid? No, I'm good. I have 4 mana. I can also tap down a creature. I can also remove abilities from a creature. Possibly destroy it, depending on its size. Burn down house. So remember how I said, if they happen to have a board wipe, I'll be ready? If they happen to have a board wipe, I'm ready. We have our Paradise Druid fresh from the Lagrella. I know it's kind of weird. Just accept it. Now we have a 4/3. Oh, yes, I would love to draw a card. Thank you. Spirited Companion draws me Breeding Pool. I will swing in with the Paradise Druid And I am going to play the Eternal Wanderer here because I have something I'd like to blink, which is the Spirited Companion. So we're going to come on out and we're going to plus. It'll come back soon. Very, very soon. And draw me cards. I guess, I mean, yeah, I could have blinked it also with this, but I don't care. Good dog. I wonder if I ordered those differently, if I could have done both. I will try to test that in a future turn. Ooh, Goldspan Dragon. Dang, that's a cool card. I don't want you to have it. So I'm going to exile it, because it can attack the Eternal Wanderer. Scry. Combat Thresher. I really do want a Combat Thresher. Do I care to blink? You know what? Let's make a Samurai. Blink the puppy. Assassin needs to have the target available at the start of end step, which doesn't work with Eternal Wanderer. Brotherhood's End. Going to destroy all my beautiful little creatures here. Also deals some damage to the Eternal Wanderer. They've got 4 mana. That's enough for Atsushi, the Blazing Sky. Boop. I made it sideways. It's better this way. It's definitely better this way. Just like how Combat Thresher is better when it's bigger. So much bigger. So much better. Doesn't really matter to me how I do these, but I do want the extra buff. Lagrella removed, Lagrella returns, and now we're just gonna grab that Atsushi. And now we have a 5/5 with Double Strike, which is very big. We also have a 2/2 with Double Strike, which is very big. The 2/2, though, does die to this Chandra's +1 ability. We've got 2 different instant speed exiles here. We've got a Silence and Patriarch's Humiliation. Chandra, Heart of Fire, comes into play. You can also just bop the Wanderer. Nope, going to go for the Samurai. I don't have a way to save that. That's fine. Learn you could be cool in the future. We're going to swing for lethal. Again. 5/5 with Double Strike. It's a pretty good thing. Trappin' in Japan is playing Jegantha, the Wellspring. This is probably going to be a 5-color good stuff deck. But with a commander that's really just about making 5 mana, Jegantha is a very, very fair way to play 5-color good stuff. Because, hey, you could put anything in your deck. And you can use your commander to help pay for those costs. I really would like to get this Gala Greeters down this turn, so rather than get this in while it would still come in untapped, I'm gonna get down Gala Greeters. We've got a bounce spell, we've got some artifact or enchantment destruction, and we've got our Exiler Lagrella. You've got 1 mana, 1 entire mana. I'm kind of hoping that they'll play something like Arcane Signet so I can destroy it. I mean, this is an enchantment. Kami of Bamboo Groves is an enchantment. It puts an extra land into play. Sacred Foundry. And then Godless Shrine. Wow, they've already got quite a good slew of mana. And we're going to destroy the Kami of Bamboo Groves. This is very minor, by the way. I will make a Trapped Treasure token. I feel like they've already gotten the value out of this. The main purpose of Arboreal Grazer and Kami of Bamboo Groves is get more land in on turn 1 or turn 2. And they did that. They really don't need this 1/1 to stick around that long. They have 3 mana. We got 2 Shocks and a Triome. Very nice mana. Now they're up to 4 with the Shipwreck Marsh. 1 away from playing their commander, Jegantha. The Cold Steel Heart. Naming... Well, they gotta figure out what color of mana am I best found. I think they should name green. Did they name green? They named green! Ah, I feel vindicated. Now do I want to just take an extra turn? I think what I want to do is I want to attack. Oh, so many choices. Way to play Lagrella. I'm going to use Lagrella to exile my own Reclamation Sage. Going to make more treasure. Get the Hall of Storm Giants into play. They have 5 mana. They can just play Jegantha this turn. But I feel like Jegantha is going to be removed. Because I have ways to remove Jegantha. Okay, Jegantha's onto the battlefield. And we're going to take Jegantha off the battlefield. We're going to bounce it right back into hand. This is the bounce house, after all. Make more tapped treasure and put Jegantha back into hand. Swinging in. I'm going to actually shock in this Temple Garden, since I'd like to save this for now. And now I have the Nightclub Bouncer to, once again, bounce Jegantha. If, of course, they play Jegantha. And they did! The bounce house continues! Hello, Jegantha. They could have a way to protect it. They do have 1 mana up. And back into hand. Keep making more treasure. We're gonna keep getting our chip damage in, too. Attacking with these little guys. They're just little guys. We attack in. It's not a lot of damage, but if we start swinging in with the Hall of Storm Giants, and I will next turn, it's going to get a whole lot more. In fact, I believe we have lethal swinging in with the Hall of Storm Giants this turn. So we're going to go ahead and play a land, animate the land, and swing for lethal. Nice victory for Lagrella. Koth, Fire of Resistance, Man of the Mountain, and another Planeswalker whose ultimate ability is really nice and very easy to get to. Thankfully, I actually have a creature in hand that is able to exile Koth, so I do think that this is a keepable hand. And I'm going to go ahead and grab blue mana off this, just to make sure I have all 3 colors. Sunpetal Grove comes in tapped. And then we're going to have this come into the battlefield as Boulderloft Pathway, so I have all the white mana I could use. Or I might actually wait a turn. Yeah, I'm going to wait a turn because they did not play anything for me to remove. I'll take a land on top, and I'm going to foretell the Glorious Protector. We've got our Teferi to bounce one of their creatures. The Guardian Project for card draw. We've got our removal, our bouncing removal, and our exiling removal. They're up to 4, and here comes Koth! Koth's plus ability is going to put a mountain into hand. Go ahead and play this. Now, I could go for the permanent exile. And with Skyclave Apparition, this is actually really fun, because they're not going to choose to keep this in permanent exile. Why would they? That would be bad for them. So they do not get a token when they eventually kill the Skyclave Apparition. Fire Prophecy, they kill the Skyclave Apparition. That does take out my creature. I don't have a way to protect it since I'm mostly tapped out. Don't have any of my 1-drop blinkers in hand. But it's fine, because we've got more stuff we can dump onto this battlefield. By the way, Koth's ability can only hit creatures. So if we do something like play Teferi, it'll be pretty safe on this battlefield. I'm going to actually play Gala Greeters. It's a great card. And just Gala Greeters. They have enough mana if they'd like to play Koth. Oh, but they're going for Double Vision. Double Vision is going to double their instants and sorceries. Rather than use this for protection, I'm just getting out the Glorious Protector so I have more creatures on the board. And I also feel like ramping. Ramping's fun, fresh, easy. And putting things into exile, like Double Vision, also fun, fresh, and easy. I'm going to get a +1/+1 counter this time. Would you like to kill this deputy? Okay. It deals 3 damage, and they get their Double Vision back. Unexpected Windfall. Discarding a card to draw 2 and make 2 treasures. So they've played both Big Score and that. This is very much a big red deck. Looks to me like we're going to have to start taking this and putting it back into their hand again. There we go. We're just going to go ahead and put that back into hand. Maybe draw myself a card. Ooh, a Cyber Siphoner. Cyber Siphoner currently costs 4 mana, but if I can get the Fateful Absence out of my hand, then it will only cost 2. The Celestis, yeah, you sure are ramping. And Double Vision returns. You are very determined to play this Double Vision. I'm actually kind of impressed by how much you want to play this Double Vision. I'm currently out of ways to deal with it, so I think I'm going to go for some card draw. I'm going to play Mulldrifter, but only evoking. This way I'll still have mana up. Let's go ahead and create a tapped treasure token. Oh, hello, Baron. Inspiring Overseer. Combat Thresher. +1/+1 counter. Ah, there we go. A land is always good to have. Swinging in. And I am waiting to see if they have something with this Double Vision that can kill me all in one turn. A big Banefire. Maybe, an explosion of a sort. Finale of Promise for X = 10? Okay. The spells they're recasting are pretty neat. They've got Big Score and End the Festivities. And then on the other one, they've got Light Up the Night, which will unfortunately be X = 0. If I remember right on how that works. Or is it that they add mana and they can recast? I'm trying to remember how the Red Finale works. There we go. Red Finale, yes. So it casts them for free. They've essentially pseudo-stormed off. They've got a lot of treasure, a lot of card draw. And if they could crackle with power, that might be enough to take me out. I like how the Glorious Protector's like, what? What's going on here? Bone Crusher Giant. That's just 2 damage. Taking out my creature. It'd be cool if you played some creatures so I could bounce them. Chandra dressed to kill. Using up some treasures. She can add more red mana. Replicating Ring. Turn their temporary mana into more permanent mana. Tablet of Completion. Doesn't do anything right away. Taps for mana and can eventually draw cards. Jaya Fiery Negotiator. Can make tokens. Deal damage while your creatures attack. Or give you pseudo card advantage. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Just like a lot of things on the battlefield. So I'm going to kill Jaya. Then I'm going to play the Cyber Siphoner. Bring back my Fateful Absence. Kill Chandra. By the way, I could have done all of this on their turn, but I don't want them activating their planeswalkers again. Blue or green? Let's go for blue. And now I've got a Cyber Siphoner just vibing and hanging out. They've got tons and tons of mana, though, so if they want to, I don't know, play Koth, minus, and kill the Cyber Siphoner, they totally can. Oh, it looks like it's going to be more Mono Red Super Friends. Yeah, that does make sense. With Chandra, Torch of Defiance killing the Siphoner. They did cast a non-creature spell, so the Monk is getting bigger off the Prowess ability. And you have gone through so many cards. I want you to look at this. They are 64 cards left in their library to my 79. That is how deep they are into their deck. This could be a great card for me to have here. I think what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to get out the Combat Thresher. Draw a card. Time Warp, that's actually not what I was planning on doing. I was planning on using Lagrella and trying to follow up next turn. But I do like a good Time Warp. So I'm going to play the Time Warp. Taking extra turns. What a great time for me. Not for them. Ooh, Lagrella? Maybe. Reclamation Sage? Yes. They clearly want this burn, so we're going to go ahead and take out that double vision. I'm going to follow up with Lagrella the Magpie. And I'm going to put my Combat Thresher. And their Monk into exile. Now we're going to play a bit of tax. The Esper Sentinel. Esper Sentinel, by the way, not really here for blinking, just here because it's a really, really helpful creature, and it can potentially draw us cards. Arcane Bombardment! Arcane Bombardment is going to duplicate spells from their graveyard and recast them when they cast spells. Now they've got their Koth at ultimate ability. Next turn, they can absolutely -7, and then the damage would start stacking up. Light up the Night, killing the Reclamation Sage, and getting a Finale of Promise. That's actually a useless card, since X will always be 0. They're getting more red mana off of Chandra. They gain a life. They draw a card. Ooh. I'm going to cull this creature, exiling the Bone Crusher Giant, taking it out of play. Going to combat. We're going to swing both of these at Chandra. This is just in case they, I don't know, Lightning Bolt one of them. Then I'm going to use Baron to bounce Koth back into their hand. If Koth had less loyalty, I probably would have just gone for bouncing Lagrella back into my hand, since that would have drawn me a card, gotten me a 3/3 double strike, and then drawn me another card. Brotherhood's End, destroying all my creatures, but freeing... Sorry, it's not actually 3/3. It's a 5/5 with double strike. Now they get the Fire Prophecy for free off of the Arcane Bombardment stack. Move my commander to the command zone? Sure. Some things happen. And the Combat Thresher is still like, hey, I'm huge. I'm gigantic. Here comes Koth. Koth, I feel like, is kind of forced to use the minus ability here to take out the Combat Thresher. And Goldspan Dragon's going to turn these treasures into twice the mana and generate some more, getting some damage right on my face. Now down to 15 life. They're activating a Celestis, gaining a life, and finding what? Let's see, we've got our Lagrella, but I think I'd rather use this Reflector Mage. But I also really want to draw a card, so we're going to start with Guardian Project. Use our Reflector Mage to bounce the Goldspan Dragon back into hand. They cannot recast it next turn. We got the Nightclub Bouncer, more bouncing. If you're wondering why this deck is called Bounce House, there's your answers, because we do a lot of either returning our creatures to hand and returning our opponent's creatures to hand. Ironcrag Feat. Okay, before the Ironcrag Feat resolves, they get some spells. Fire Prophecy, they want to put something back into their deck. And now they can cast one more spell this turn. And what's it going to be? Is it a Crackle with Power? Because I see you tapping a lot of mana. A lot of mana. I'm going to say, we're probably dead. Banefire would also be enough. They have so much mana. What is it going to be? They did the math. It was indeed Crackle with Power. Wizards of the Coast, why do you ask me this? Yes, I had fun. It was a good game of Magic. Vraska, Betrayal, Sting. A mono black planeswalker who's very scary because her ultimate ability gets you awful close to just losing the game. She works very well with other planeswalkers because her main ability proliferates. We're gonna go ahead and crack open this Fabled Passage. Get ourselves a second blue source for the Nightclub Bouncer and the Time Warp. And I'll take a look over here at Vraska. Vraska can come down on 5 or 6 mana. She does have this little mana symbol here. I don't think she'd be coming down next turn. I'm gonna shock this in. Scry. Thassa. Polymorphist. I think they'll have many creatures. Probably good to have that. I'm just gonna swap the order of these. I have 4 mana here. Vraska, though, plus ability isn't actually a plus. It proliferates. Drawing a card, losing a life. Minus is a permanent piece of removal that turns things into treasures, which nullifies their abilities. And the -9, which gives an opponent 9 poison counters. It's really scary. Like, it's honestly a very scary card. They killed the Charming Prince, though. With Farika's Libation. I've got a counterspell to wash away. Let's see if they end up trying to play Vraska here. No, it's Davriel. I am actually going to capture Davriel here. This is Dapper Davriel, the discard dude. The reason I do not want to think about or deal with him is because I don't want to be discarding any of these cards. I want these. These are mine. I brought them from home. And now I'm going to cause a setback. I can actually wait until they play Vraska and then put the Vraska back into their hand. I feel like that would be annoying enough that I'd like to do it. And if they do something else, that's fine too. Yeah, the Nightclub Bouncer is a very literal bouncer, since it bounces cards. Okay, interesting. They did not play anything. Sure. Okay. I'll put your Mind Stone back in hand. Do you want to sacrifice it instead? Sure, that's fine. Fine with me, at the very least. I assume they're going to kill or exile the Nightclub Bouncer. Nope. It is allowed to live. It's also allowed to attack for 2. And now it's time for an extra turn. Now we have a lot of cards that can bring the Time Warp back from the graveyard. Hostile Negotiations. Oh. This is a really weird card. So it's 4 mana, and they're going to lose 3 life, and they're going to get 3 cards. But I get to choose which pile of 3 cards they get. It's a bit of a minigame. Alright, so I can either give them Agonizing Remorse, Infernal Grasp, and a Snow-Covered Swamp, or 3 mystery cards. Ooh! I'm going to choose this pile. Better the devil you know than the devil you don't. So let's see what the other 3 cards were. Ah, Phyrexian Reno, Pebble Stronghold, and Snow-Covered Swamp. And now it's my extra turn. Yay, extra turns! Everybody loves extra turns, right? No? Just me? I only like them if I'm the one playing them. I'm actually going to put the Nightclub Bouncer back into my hand. Because that is how we be obnoxious, is we just kind of keep replaying this. By the way, Vraska, this ability only hits creatures. Does not hit planeswalkers. We now have a way to bring that Time Warp back into hand. The Shipwreck Dowser. So I feel like they should hit it. They can exile this out of my hand. No, they went for Thassa. That's okay. They might be able to hit the Time Warp while it's in my hand. I don't know why they have not played this Vraska at all. We scry. Gala Greeters. I do like Gala Greeters. I like Gala Greeters. Don't think it's what I need, though. Shipwreck Dowser. Back into hand with the Time Warp. You'd also bring back, like, the Wash Away. I don't have blue mana to hold up, but I know what I want. If you're wondering why didn't they Infernal Grasp on my turn, it's because they couldn't. Because of Teferi. They're going to eat the Dowser. That's going to lose 5 life. Sheesh. Okay. The Dowser has been doused. Oh, hey, Soul Herder. You're a cool card. I kind of like the idea of casting the Time Warp on their turn. Since I'm not really doing anything with it here. Nah, I'll just take more turns. The classic ploy. The classic ploy. I don't have anything huge to do here. I could play like the world's most boring Lagrella. I'll just keep plussing Teferi. And I'll play Soul Herder. I could attack in with the Lair of the Hydra for X equals 1. But I'd rather not. Since I only have 2 blue total mana, I couldn't also just hold up the Nightclub Bouncer. The Infernal Grasp. We blink our own Spirit. By the way, this is a Spirit, so it does get a +1/+1 counter. Let's see if they have another kill spell. Price of Fame! Okay. It's removal. Panharmonicon. Looking good. Doubles some enter the battlefields. We've got this Obscura Polymorphist. I've also got Lagrella. Lagrella is doing so little here. Here. She's doing so little, I'm going to play her. Here. Here's Lagrella. Empty board. She's 2 damage. Will you please play the Vraska so I can bounce it back into your hand? No, Davriel. This is not Davriel the discard dude. This is a Davriel who makes deals. Offers and conditions. There's also like a minus ability that gives a perpetual -3/-3. But people love making deals with Davriel. Let's see what deal they make. It'll only pop up for a very short period of time unless it creates an emblem. So we gotta find out quickly. Creatures they control are smaller, and whenever they draw a card, they gain life. Oh, look, it's Phyrexian Obliterator! Oh, I love that guy. If they sacrifice it in response, I won't draw a card. I'm not saying that's a good move, I'm just saying that's a thing that could happen. You know what? Yeah. X equals 3. No, X equals 2. Perfect. Go to combat. Lair of the Hydra. Lagrella. Let's deal some damage. I just had to make sure I was leaving up Nightclub Bouncer mana. And look, our Nightclub Bouncer would bounce 2 things. Bolus's Citadel. Play something else. Play something else. Yes. The Naptime Baby Boy. Perfect. Got anything else? I'm just like waiting here, like I want to bounce. I want to bounce things so badly. Ah, Debt to the Kami. It went down to 8 life. You can level that up. It won't do much. I'm gonna put this and this back into your hand. They both cost 1 more. They could replay the Evolved Sleeper from their hand. And Debt to the Kami. I'm going to sacrifice my Lagrella because she's really not doing anything. She was just vibing. She's just hanging out. The sleeper comes out, and they can make it into a 1/2. Cool. Scoot you out of the way. X equals 6. And the math adds up to a lethal swing. Good game, Vraska, who I guess never entered the battlefield. I didn't even counter her, they just never played her. Ooh, Rashmi. She is a Simic Flash commander. Expect to see counterspells, lots and lots of counterspells. Rashmi can be kind of a pain in the ass to play against, but hopefully it will be able to deal well against her because we have some counterspells of our own. Root Coil Creeper, they ramp. I also can ramp. The Armored Scrap Gorger. I really like this card. As far as like new mana producing creatures goes, the fact that this one offers graveyard hate and also can become a 3/3 is really, really nice. Let's see, we've got Gala Greeters or Lagrella. Play the Gala Greeters, and we're going to take a little look over here. Ah, Kinnan and the Creeper, huh? So you have 6 mana right now. Sorry, you have a lot more than 6 mana right now. I don't know why it held priority there. I couldn't have countered Wash Away. Since this is now a creature, it is still a land. I don't get anything extra out of this. Other than swinging at me, making me feel bad. I need lands. Oh, hey, Vannifar. That's a pretty cool card. Something that can pod. I found mana, but it does come in tapped. We're gonna use Legrella here. And either Vannifar, maybe the Forest, maybe the Kinnan. I'm gonna hit the Kinnan here since I don't want them to activate him next turn. We're gonna make a treasure token. Try and get my ramping up to speed. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana for next turn. But I need more than that for something like Meteor Golem to take out Nissa. Invoke the Winds. They're stealing Legrella. They do not get the Kinnan out until they sacrifice Legrella. But with Vannifar, they can take her off the battlefield. Bring Legrella back. And see what 4-drop they get out of their deck. Ah, Thassa for Blinken. Hello, Rashmi. Other than just defensively, not too much to blink here. A land. Very cool. They name blue. Choose to untap it. And monkey. It's a good monkey. We either hit Vannifar to stop them from potting, Kinnan to stop them from digging into the deck, or Rashmi to stop them from getting extra value. We could also hit a land, but I don't think that that's an immediate priority. We now have monkey. It's a good monkey. Let's see what they've got. 4 mana floating. And a Neoform. They don't even need Vannifar. The Neoforms from a 2-drop, they're going to be able to get a 3-drop. And I have Baron, who can bounce my Kogla back into hand. I'm very open for a swing here, so if they swing in with everything, we're going to be taking some serious damage. They could also play Reclamation Sage just to destroy my treasure and break my heart. Oh, but why do that when you can take advantage of your floating mana and rather than deal damage, get yourself another fancy planeswalker. Vivian, Monsters Advocate. We're playing Llanowar Elves. Swinging in. Far short of lethal. We would have been forced to block if they didn't go for those extra moves. Now they blink, so they can blonk. Throwing the Scrap Gorger back into hand and setting me back even further on mana. Even if I were to, you know, somehow wipe the board, we'd be in a rough spot. Thankfully, I have a way to right the board here. So I'm going to choose to keep my Gala Greeters and your Llanowar Elf. Maybe your Baron. Something whittle. Something whittle. Let's go for Llanowar Elf. Destroying your lands. Nissa, by the way, can search for more lands next turn. But all they have right now is an island. Yeah, the Eternal Wanderer, bit of a board wipe. Bit of a board wipe. Tiny bit. Itty bitty bit. Teeny tiny itty bitty bit. They've animated their island. They've got 1, 2, 3 mana. Tapping, playing Llanowar Loamspeaker. Attacking the Eternal Wanderer. Get some more blue here. Let's get Skablinky. So we're gonna make a Samurai. And then I'm going to play Yorion. And I'm going to blink the Eternal Wanderer. She's going to come back and she's going to have more loyalty. Thanks, Eternal Wanderer. Thanks, Yorion. I think now's a good time to refill the board. Lands are now indestructible. And you're going to be able to get every forest they still have left in their deck. So I did have them sacrifice 1, 2 forests? It felt like it was more than that. So now they have 10, 11, 12, 13 more. A good way to refill the board after I've made you sacrifice a couple lands.
I'd like you to meet my friend, Stompy.
These two both have reach, which is fairly relevant here. Let's see, we've got a Great Henge, I've got a Siphoner, nothing really big to bring back. I think we're gonna go for Henge. Scrap Gorger. Could force another sacrifice here and then do the blink next turn. I could also just eliminate a beast.
I'll handle this one.
And swing in here at Nissa. I assume they'll block with this beast. They have this Reclamation Sage. I know. A Manglehorn to destroy my Great Henge. Okay, I accept this. That was off the minus ability from Vivian. There goes my Henge. I'm just trying to keep my mana slightly stable. Floating 3. Animating this breeding pool. Llanowar Loamspeaker could also animate land. Ooh, that is actually a problem card. Yoribest the Sea Gods. Skyclave Relic. They ramp. I feel like you've ramped enough. Enough for 5 games. Leafkin Druid. Sure. Paradise Druid. Looking good. And now do you attack with what you've got left? Or do you not even bother? Because you already know what I'm going to do. I already know what I'm going to do. But we want to start with an attack. No, we want to start with this. Alright, so we're going to float our mana. Beautiful green stuff. Let's go ahead and exile Vannifar. We're going to make you sacrifice everything but... Llanowar Elf again. He's just a funny little guy. Use the Meteor Golem to take out Dorabest the Sea Gods, because that actually is a card I'd say is very worth being afraid of. We can either take out their ability to play the creatures off the top of their deck, or their doubled mana. Right now, their doubled mana is not actually doing anything, though. It's just kind of there. There's just a lot of mana for them. They now have a forest. Reclamation Sage. They can destroy the Meteor Golem. They can kill Eternal Wanderer. And I understand this. And I accept this. Hi, Rashmi. We'll try to counter Rashmi. This is actually kind of fun because they only have these as blue mana sources, so they can't replay Rashmi this turn. I know. I know. I know. They kill the Eternal Wanderer.
Time is up.
And Yorion can take out Nissa.
Fight on without me.
I don't have triple green, so I can't go for Kola. But I will play the Spirited Companion. He's just a little guy. Ooh. That could give me triple green. Some of that good green stuff. We'll take out Llanowar Elf. They have 3 sources of blue over here. I cannot destroy these, by the way, by attacking in, because they are indestructible. Just, this says the words on the cards. But it looks like we are dead anyway. Finale of Devastation is going to give +X, and haste. And if they get something like Hoof, we're just dead to the trample. Good game, Rashmi, who is amazingly not a flash deck. Strange choice of commander, but I'll take it. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. If you'd like to check out my channel, twitch.tv/Amazonian, I record all the Brawl Star episodes there live, so you can watch all the games, including the ones that don't make the cut for the video. Yeah, I usually play the deck for many hours, and then you just get the cream of the crop here. But if you want to watch the crap of the crap, come on over to my channel. We're really fun, I promise. Also, if you have a suggestion for a commander you'd like to see, especially one from either an upcoming set, yeah, get Rog and Thalia, I see you coming, or one from a set that just came out, be sure to let me know in the comments of the video. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you have a brawlful day.